This is ION Hong Kong with Key.
And this is Harminder, and we'll be discussing the top news for the week involving Hong Kong and China.
Hello. Welcome to the 49th episode of ION Hong Kong. And today we have our new host, as
a guest host.
A guest host, Alan.
Right, nice to meet you, and nice to see you here. Okay, I haven't seen you for a while.
Quite a long time.
Yeah, I've been busy. So that's why I haven't met you for a while.
Yeah, we've been working together on some internet issues together, and we used to work. Not used to. We're still working on the copyright amendment.
Yes, we do.
This
yes.
year. So that's why I met Alan, and welcome, Alan. And how are you?
Been a bit busy on personal stuff.
Right.
And yes, and time is running short. The copyright reform bill is about to being read in the Electrical, and also obviously the more important thing is the political reform bill.
Right.
So we'll see what will happen in the coming month.
I remember that in the during the umbrella movement, you were on BBC as well. What happened?
I was on BBC, yes, because basically I was invited to do a number of interviews on BBC, and they find me quite a good person to do, so they asked me for more.
Why would you be the good person to do that?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure. It might just be luck.
Oh, I see. Cool. So this week we also will discuss some very hot topic. Let's play our first clip.
曾經我哋 sell 過就收埋壞仔啦，又曾經話唔好，因為佢已經呢咗9年啦，佢會覺得好唔舒服。佢哋係犯法嘅，我要代表佢咧係一個幾踩界嘅做法嚟嘅。如果我哋唔接呢個案，咁點啊？我都會報警噶嘛。咁所以咁嘅情況下，我哋反覆思量之後，就覺得而家嘅方法咧會係最好。喺前晚咧，佢哋打電話嚟安慰我，佢驚車。
佢安慰你。
佢話佢或者話佢見電視嚟咁蝦閒姨姨咁講，咁我話你唔使擔心喎，我話閒姨姨得㗎咁講。我哋俾人衝擊咧，我哋覺得冇所謂嘅，即係尊重人哋各方對我哋做一件事嘅唔同嘅手法或者嗰種睇法，唔重要嘅，即係好無辜嗰間學校。
As you may see from this clip, and it's about Y Zai, and he's illegal immigrant. I would say.
Yes, he is. For some reason, I don't think the word overstay is quite right. He's probably coming here with false documents. And
you would say that?
I would suspect that there would have been some, let's say, misunderstandings at the border, and then that's why he has been overstaying for 9 years.
Yeah, quite a long time. How could that be a misunderstanding, though? But the thing is that now, with the help of the Legislative Council member Chen Yun-ha.
Yeah, Chen Yun-ha, yeah.
And she's helping him to try to get the... What they're trying to get? The permanent stay in Hong Kong?
Well, basically, she tries to get him, regularize him, to get him a proper, not necessarily permanent residence immediately, but at least a right to stay in Hong Kong.
I see. So, Y Zai, he has a old family member here, and that's his...
Apparently, he has a grandmother who is looking after him.
So, what about his parents, or...
Apparently, they claim that his parents sent him to Hong Kong because they died and whatever.
Okay, so...
there's so many holes in the stories. I'm not even sure which are actually accurate. And I think that the immigration department is now trying to dig what's really happening to him.
So I think one of the biggest argument among the member of the society is that they're saying that we should just deport him back to China, and then some saying that you should give him the chance to during the investigation to be educated or get into a proper school.
I would say that because of him claiming to be a children rather than an adult, it is very improbable to deport him immediately, because that would actually would infringe upon our
international
obligations. That aside, we don't even know what is Wai Zai, so of course we need to investigate him anyway.
Right.
So at least we need some time to at least to ascertain what is Wai Zai, what his background. Does he still have family in China, or whether actually his grandmother is his grandmother? We don't even know whether they're true.
So some other people are actually citing the international treaty, saying that Hong Kong has the obligation to, give free education to all children, and some argue that actually we don't have the obligation because Wai Zai is not resident here in Hong Kong. And so, what is your opinion about that?
Personally, I think that that battle has already been settled. Remember around 10, 15 years ago, during the a whole bunch of illegal immigrants, or rather not actually illegal immigrants, but parents who are Hong Kong parents but was born in China, and then they brought down to Hong Kong and trying to see if they can get regularized into permanent residency. Those children, originally the Immigration Department and the Security Bureau was extremely hard line to say not to educate them, but as you know, the Catholic Church in Hong Kong insists on taking upon them, and so I think that ship has sailed, and it's now agreed by the government that when they were in Hong Kong during investigation, they should have a right to be educated. Now, obviously, having a right to be educated doesn't mean that we should parade him like Chen Yunhan did. I think Chen Yunhan didn't quite admit that she made a mistake, but as you see from the previous clip, that she was saying that she thought this was the best option and best interest of the child. Obviously, it isn't.
But isn't it quite funny that she said, I just want to help him to surrender himself, but at the same time she held this press conference to do a promotion of herself.
Yes, I think she's basically. I think the reason why she does a press conference and having totally publicize the school meeting, whatever it is, because I think she wants to promote herself. There are a number of conspiracy theories which I don't think it's very good to share here. But apparently Chen Yunhan is saving for her seat.
Oh, in the coming election in year 2016, though, is next year.
No, the district, because she is a LegCo member by being a district council member.
I see.
So she needs to actually save her seat in the district council this year.
But what about the public opinion about that?
I think she has backfired. Totally backfired. She would probably lose her seat, if anything.
Is it because of the localism recently quite popular too?
Yes. I think, of course, localism has reared its head and it becomes very vocal. Some of the actions are obviously not as gentle or not as gentle or not as diplomatic.
Right.
Like the demonstration to the schools and her office last week, last Saturday, was quite vocal and quite, and they do like putting slogans on the school door. And of course,
do you think that it's radical to do that, to go to the school and protest? The school, one thing we have to remember that was the school didn't really actually admit Wai Zai as a student at that time. It's just giving him a chance to have an interview, actually. So, and then this localism group are going to the school door and doing the protest. What do you think about that?
I think obviously the localists are usually jump a few steps forward than what the general opinion is. I think they think that it sets a precedent.
Right.
Although I have to say again that a precedent has been set anyway.
Right.
Then it's now been a given policy that children and ongoing investigation should have the right to be educated. But I think that they obviously are alarmed that if there is a few more Wai Zai cases, then Hong Kong will be flooded over. Although I must say that the handling of the school isn't great either.
What do you mean?
I mean, there is. Obviously, after the protest, you should protect the students from seeing this. Current students from seeing all these like slogans. Instead, there's a young child coming out to the gates and crying, and it looks like either is doing a drama or something. She's being a drama queen. I don't know whether she was directed or something, but I don't think it's the best interest actually to allow these things to happen to students.
Yeah.
And more importantly, it's quite true that the students crying is way after the protest.
Of course.
The protester has left.
Right.
Obviously the press have stayed, and they were able to capture this dramatic scene.
I just wonder why the press would stay after the protest, and then why it so happened that a young girl arranged to be, crying in front of the camera as well. And
I think obviously the press has probably think that the school will do something.
Right.
That's why they stay behind. I think it's unwise, however, that the protester left before the press left. I think it's unwise of them because it puts them into a disadvantage. It certainly puts the protester into a disadvantage that they were seen as bullying or provoking disharmony or things like that.
Of course, we can also see that from the internet that some people say that the girl was actually arranged to do a scene.
I would say that it is quite probable that the girl was coached a bit. It was coached. It was done so badly that it doesn't look like it's
because someone actually pointing out that during she was crying, and then someone was behind the camera shouting that, you should
be louder, and then say okay. It could be the press who is doing that rather than
probably too actually.
Yeah.
So
it could be the press who wants to obviously could hardly hear what she's talking when she's crying. So ask her to say louder. But I do think that the rumor of she being coached is again quite probable, because you wouldn't have a situation where someone just randomly walk up into a bunch of press wanting to be seen. If I were one of the students, I probably would not put myself into that situation.
I think this is not the first time that when the localism having the protest and some young children.
Oh yeah, this is not the first time.
And I'm not saying that there is arranged or coached or something yet. I don't have the conclusion. I don't have the evidence yet. And but the thing is that. Don't you think that when something happened like that, it will have to cause a very bad image to the public, and 200 marks will be deducted?
As our wonderful blogger Curse have said about the 200 marks.
You're gonna kill me.
Well, I wouldn't say that it's that bad this time, because unlike what happened, and actually that was quite, even that incident was quite bizarre, because the majority of the protesters were nowhere near the child. They were. I have heard from people who were at that protest in Chunmun when 200 marks being deducted, that apparently there were far more press than actually the protesters who were trying to kick or trying to search the luggage or whatever. So I think that some of that I think that it's very rather uncertain that whether these sort of incidents are arranged to discredit the localists. I really have no idea whether it is done to discredit or it just happens that this sort of things happen. Certainly it has left a rather bad taste to the public about the image of the localists. I think localists would have to think a bit more about how they want to present themselves. Saying about this, apparently this Saturday they are having a rally,
right?
On Hong Kong Island to show their force
About
just
any causes?
No. It's a show of force to say that we should be heard, and previous, including the last week's protest, is right, and this sort of thing. So they are basically having a rally today. I don't know how many people will turn up.
I thought they were quite vocal already. People did see them quite a lot of different incidents of protests already.
Yeah, I think they just want to be a show of force because they don't want to be represented by other protesters. So they want to show themselves. Although saying this, I don't know how many people will actually turn up. The numbers the rumored number is around 100 or 200.
Okay, but isn't it difficult to distinguish the localists from Civic Passion, because Civic Passion also quite inclined to the localism as well?
Yes, Civic Passion is very inclined to localism, although this rally is run by another group, the Hong Kong Native Power.
So they're different.
They have so many. Basically, localist has a lot of signs. I mean, a lot of groups that they arrange, maybe of the same people, but they have different sort of names to call themselves. So, for example, this rally on Saturday is not run by the
Civic Passion.
It's not run by Civic Passion. It's not run by Hong Kong Indigenous. It's run by a group which was again involved in last week's protest called the Hong Kong Native Power.
I have never heard of that.
本土力量.
Oh, okay. No.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know them. Apparently, they are quite vocal on the Golden Forum.
I see.
But I don't know. I haven't seen them on like Facebook.
You mean they had the protest outside the immigration department or the immigration building in IONHK this week? Or
I think yes, that was them.
I also see it from the newspaper that there is a Golden Brothers political party called Inspiration. They also were there as well.
Right. It was last Sunday, wasn't it? When they had that protest to the immigration department. Today they're not going to the immigration department. I can't remember where they're going. They're going somewhere in Admiralty. They're going somewhere in Admiralty.
I see.
I'm not sure where it is. It's recorded somewhere. The destination is somewhere in Admiralty. Maybe the central government offices. Maybe somewhere else. But I don't even know whether there will be enough people to be noticed.
I see.
Unlike the coming June 4 protests on Sunday, which actually gets very interesting because all the electrical members have been invited to meet the Chinese officials in Shenzhen.
Right. So, coming back to Wai Jai, what do you think about the possible outcome of this case?
He would probably likely to be deported, but it doesn't mean that he won't be back. Chinese government has a very nifty trick. They would approve their one-way permit much more quicker if they think that those people are not for the interest to look after. Yeah. So basically, similar cases have happened. I had numerous sources to tell me that similar cases about China's approved them to send to Hong Kong anyway.
Right.
After deportation have occurred. You know the case of the murderer, the Si Guanlong. He was one of the cases. He was jailed. He was jailed in Hong Kong and then being deported.
Yeah, he's convicted.
Yeah, he's convicted, jailed, and he's been deported, but he's approved back into Hong Kong anyway.
Yeah, he's now back in Hong Kong actually.
Yeah, so it is true that because Hong Kong has no control whatsoever on what the Chinese government approves who to come to Hong Kong, there is absolutely no control by the Hong Kong government. So unfortunately, it means that the likely outcome would be something similar to Si Guanlong.
So these kind of people coming to Hong Kong by what means? I mean, they're apparently not the talents that we
No, they obviously
want. So they wouldn't be coming from the special talent channel.
No, they would come
investment
from the
No.
They come from the one-way permit scheme.
I see. It's a family reunion?
Family reunion, usually family reunion, but apparently they haven't used up the quotas for family reunion because there are far fewer number of people who come to Hong Kong for family reunion these days. So apparently there's about a dozen or 2 dozen of people, which is at absolute discretion by the Chinese government of who to send to Hong Kong.
I see.
As in, you don't know why he's here. Maybe a communist party member, maybe cases like Xi Guangdong or Wai Zai, or maybe some other
criminals.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, it's for Xi Guangdong it's because of family reunion,
right?
But there are a number of spaces for some just random people to send to Hong Kong, and we cannot actually question any of them.
I also heard it from the internet saying that people using the family reunion as a reason to come to Hong Kong. Then someone actually asked the same question: why did you go back to China to do the family reunion? I think it's quite a sound argument.
It is a very sound argument, and
you don't really have to come to Hong Kong.
No,
actually.
you don't. And actually, I would say for a number of cases, even after they get the Hong Kong ID card, they went back to China anyway. So it's not like that they would actually necessarily have to stay in Hong Kong. Of course, the Hong Kong residency comes with a number of benefits, including a passport which allows permanent residencies will give you a SAR passport, which gives you far more countries which are visa-free access. So there is still an attraction why people want to come to Hong Kong. Better education system, better medical system, better social welfare. This is one of the reasons why. But of course, it is very true that they don't actually need necessary to settle in Hong Kong. I mean, they can, or I know a number of people who actually didn't apply after they marry mainland China wife. They didn't actually apply to come to Hong Kong. They just live in China, live in Shenzhen.
I see. So we will see what happens to Wai Zai. And anyway, and then after talking about the children, then we should move on to our next topic to talk about the senior in our society. And last week, we discovered the media discovered something very interesting that happens in the old folks' home.
Yeah, in care home. The Cambridge Care Home.
Yes, very posh name.
Very posh name. They
provide very posh service as well.
Apparently, they said that they have one of the best facilities in their statement. They said they're providing one of the best facilities in the society, in the community. Unfortunately, facility doesn't actually mean service.
Wow.
The media have discovered a number of abuses or apparent abuses to old folks and to senior residents in their care home. Yeah,
I think it's one of the most disturbing pictures and video found by the media was that some of the old the residents in this old folks home they were taken to the rooftop and then they got stripped naked totally to wait for taking a bath, and then they were just everybody above, because we have a lot of high buildings in Hong Kong. People can actually see that these old people were naked on the rooftop.
Yeah, because that building is a short building, and obviously there are some high rises surrounding it. You can actually have a very good view on them being stripped naked.
And then we can see the Mimi Hong Kong's reports on that, and then the home actually make a very interesting reply to a statement, and to talk about, try to reply to the response. I mean, the question by media and the public as well. And what they said is that
they have opened 30 years. They're providing the best service with best facilities,
best food and oil.
Best food, best oil,
and everything is very good. Like just
apparently the people
vacation home.
Apparently people who are stripped naked are just the care workers did not follow the instructions. Apparently, that's what the statement says. So, as I said in the beginning, the statement state that they're providing the best facilities and the best they claim to be best service, which obviously found to be untrue. And I think the government agrees with that, which is why the Social Welfare Department have actually suspended about to suspend the license in that particular care home.
But also one more interesting thing that happened recently. The press discovered that they used one of the floors to be a supermarket.
Yes,
is it
ground floor?
I think that they're trying to provide one of the facility, right? I think in this case they're trying to give the old folks you can go to do shopping in the same building.
Yeah, maybe.
So it's one of the facilities actually.
Yeah, maybe yes. The interesting thing about the license being not renewed or suspended is that it's not the whole building being suspended.
Right.
It's only about 2 stories of the building, which has the license suspended, and one of the stories has got it extended for 3 months, which basically means the same thing that it's supposed to shut down in 3 months. And they had, and actually, very, very recently, the Social Welfare Department says that they are now contacting the family members of the relatives of the people of the residents in the care home to facilitate them to transfer to other care homes. There is talking about care homes. There is a significant shortage of care home spaces in Hong Kong, and that's why for example, Cambridge Care Home is a for-profit care home,
right? Which
means that it's privately run and is run for profit. There's nothing actually wrong about this sort of arrangement. Obviously, if you want to provide a service, it's not necessary that you do it not for profit. You can also do it for profit as long as you meet certain standards, and that's how the government sees it. The government actually provide vouchers to the people who are queuing up for care homes,
right?
And if they take these vouchers, then they will no longer be on the queue for like social care homes.
I think another very bad thing about what the Cambridge Care Home did was that the spokesperson, I think probably the owner came out and say something very nasty. I would use that word, because she said it's not a case of abuse. It's just when you say exposing someone, stripping someone naked on the rooftop, is not an abuse. I was quite shocked to hear that, actually.
I think that they might think that the rooftop would be providing privacy rather than the ground floor. That's what she probably meant. But obviously, as we said earlier, there's a lot of high-rises in Hong Kong. And that particular building of Cambridge Care Home is a 4 or 5-story building.
Right.
So pretty much everyone can see.
If I were them, I would just say that it's actually it's just a nudist camp on the rooftop or facility for people like to have an onsen kind of a style bathing house built on the top. It's kind of one of the best facilities in Japan, so that people can enjoy the sunshine and to have a sunbathing as well.
I think that would be a humorous and slightly better response.
Yes, better than hers. Anyway, so now we will finish the first part, and coming back we will discuss more topics of the current news.